Hello, everybody, and let's have a great day. So, as you know, it's me, Garrick. May everyone have your ambitions, faith, and passion guide you. Lord, may you have mercy on me, a sinner. So, today I'm really tired because I spent like 4 or 5 hours last night just working on my machine learning project. And that was a pain because it was mostly just working on dependencies, talking with AI, and dealing with like Git issues. Like, hey, somewhere in the commit line, I forgot to hit Git ignore this large, like 2 or 3 gigabyte file. And I had to go back and be like, hey, no, ignore that, and undo all my previous commits, which was a bummer. But uh, all the code is still there. It's just the commits aren't. So I made a whole new commit, pushed that, and felt good about it. There's other PyTorch issues where the GPU just couldn't be used because um, Dynadiff, which was made by Facebook, couldn't use my GeForce RTX like laptop 5060 Ti. It just the the PyTorch dependency need to be a certain version, an older version that just wasn't up to date. So that's wonderful. Had to find a workaround for that. But it also helped me better understand how to use AI versus web tools. So, AI, you do not just want to copy and paste errors into AI, into the Copilot chat that's on the right side, like VS Code, right? When it comes to errors debugging, you use AI with imported libraries. Use AI with imported libraries when there's very little documentation. Like you try and look at a method, or you try to look at a object. You try to find the class, and you find no comments. You find nothing, and so you're like, okay, time for AI, because there's only so much intuition or inference you can get from like the original code, especially from the original code. So what you want to do is be like, hey, AI, can you solve this? But not just solve. You want to ask it specific questions, not just to guide it, but also to guide yourself. You can let Code choose your agent or like a little helping buddy, but you want to do something like, hey, what is this? What is that? What is happening during this for loop or in this section? It can cut, so the Copilot can give you some of the answers as far as like, hey, there's a human response function, this is what it's probably related to. And so that tells me personally that the the AIs are connected to the internet and actually read some stuff, or they were trained on more than just code. So that's nice. For example, Dynadiff uses data 3T, or just data. I think it's this data loader thing, and it's trying to index the correct volumes for an fMRI data. The way it does this is by trying to do some funky math, by saying, okay, this is when the trial started, and then here's where the trial should end, uh, based on the duration of each trial, or what each trial was. So it has this thing called TR, NTR, and then also, what was it? Onset, right. So you have onset, and then you divide all the onsets by TR, and then you have like the trial durations or number of trials per stimulus. A trial is basically a brain scan. This is why I don't like coding, because also issues with like military, just because of like the way the wording and naming structure is, like how evolutions is just another word for exercise, and now there's so many anagrams. Anyways, so you you take your volumes, and then you use the events file to tell when each volume was taken, because the volumes data file doesn't come with timestamps. All it is a NumPy array, basically. So if you want to try and create an index for each, so there's a stimulus, and you want to say, hey, which of these volumes is related to this stimulus? You do that by doing the funky math of saying, like, okay, well, we started showing this stimulus here, which is when we theoretically took the first or second brain scan. And then we take that brain scan time, we subtract whatever is the relative time, like when we actually start. We do that. I just made a bug into my system. Dang it. I'm wondering if I made sure to not ignore rest because you show the stimulus and then there's rest period. So I have to double check that in my code. Anyways, do that. Check what happens. Now, so you get your index, and then you want to feed that to your PyTorch model. You do that, and then you do your whole epoch, and you do diffusion, which is basically like a convolutional neural network because it checks what patterns are happening in your uh, in your volumes. Then what happens? Convolutional network. Then you try to encode it into a latent space using a variational autoencoder. That variational autoencoder, what it does is says like, okay, well, here's what it should look like, and here's what we have. And so that's how you try and train a neural network to read fMRI data, use convolutional neural networks to then predict the image a person is seeing. It's just a lot of technical stuff that's like in between theory and execution. And a lot of coffee and a lot of tired and a lot of boredom because trying to like run the script and debug takes time. AI can't solve that. Especially when there's like dependencies and just like, hey, did you use the right class for this or class for that? I would love if OpenAI just created an optimizer AI. So just an AI, I guess, that could just like read every line of a script, like in Python or in C, see what it's doing conceptually. Like, hey, is it transposing? Is it doing this? Is it doing that? Is it just taking the median, the average? And what it does is like, okay, all these functions are basically the same, just make it one function so there's less data. And then also be like, hey, can I try and change this to use GPU instead of CPU? You know? And okay, so how many of these functions on the low level just never change? Okay, convert that to C, basically. Just like a a project optimizer would be lovely. Just something to like not compress everything down because I don't want to uncompress stuff. Just be like, hey, I guess in the state space, these two things end up in the same location, these two vectors. So just replace this vector with this other vector. And it should be good. Anyways, today I'm also sore from working out. And that is a good thing. Gotta be losing that belly, I went to Kiryat Ono CrossFit. Really good place. It has its own pool. It has open gym, and it has like led by coaches who, if the class is small, will come and help you out. I just have to remember to like register for the classes or figure out how. Need to like navigate the website. But had a good time. And today for the video, I also want to talk about time management, which is just like, hey, the most important thing for every single individual person is not money. It is their, like, as far as spending, what's more important than money is their time. What are you spending your time on? So, like for now, I'm taking time to record this video, to practice showing up ready, to practice setting up, to practice like for surgery. There's like pre-operation, operation, and then post-operation. So that idea of like, hey, getting ready, executing, and then post-op or like post-execution review. I show up here ready, I perform, and then I decompress or I transition to the next thing. So, what is that? As far as my schedule and being ready, being accountable, being disciplined, that is having a calendar and trying to just stick to it and trying to ignore the monkey in your brain or the little like ambition gremlins are telling you like, hey, if you just spend another hour, you shouldn't stop, Garrick. You have your project to do. If you just keep on working, you're getting kind of close. All you have to do is like run an extra bit. It's another 2 or 3 minutes, and that ambition goblin is telling you that, hey, that isn't like 2 or 3 minutes. It's like 1 or 2 seconds. You can watch a YouTube video or something, and that is how you get into a very bad habit of like terrible time management. So trying to stick to a schedule is hard because if you just like spend an extra 1 or 2 minutes, be a little bit late. It shouldn't matter, right? No, don't listen to it. Do not listen to that. Do not listen to that Slack. Yeah. Don't listen to that buffer demon. So, the schedule in broad strokes, let me just pull a at 5 a.m. I gotta wake up. All right. So I'm gonna give myself an hour to get up and get to the next thing. So from 5 to 6, I have about half an hour to wake up, grab my breakfast, probably won't eat it, and then get out the door. Then from 6 to 7, normally I have gym. So on Monday, 6 to 7, Wednesday and Thursday as well. There's going to be the workout of the day, and then there's also like an endurance class I'm interested in trying out. And then on Tuesday and Friday, there is some free time. So at 7 to 9 a.m., that's open pool. That'd be a good time to do my endurance training, to get my water competency up, Gotta practice. Gotta watch this video and get better. All right. And then there's another gym on Saturday at 8 a.m. And those are the earliest. And I want to do that because, hey, start off your day right. Wake up and get moving. Got to build that discipline. Wake up and then get moving and then get out the door. There's daylight and every day matters. I knew Elisis, right? That's why I got my tattoo. So I go do that. Then I have my classes. I have to go to my classes from 8 a.m. till 12 on Monday, and then 8 a.m. till 2 on Wednesday and Thursday. So 3 days of classes, not bad. And then in between there, I got to do my lab work, I got to do my homework, and just rest. That's actually been one of my issues that even the coach told me, like while I was working out, like, hey, you got to pace yourself, you got to rest, and also just go lighter. I'm not used to it. I'm not used to going lighter. Just wrestling and like football, like all old habits of like push yourself, and do not stop, push yourself. But when you start to feel that blood pressure in your fingers, not just the heartbeat is when you start to feel your heartbeat in your fingers. That's when you really need to drink water. Okay. But before that, once you start to feel that like slight pressure, that's when like, okay, drink some water, take a break, and that helps me. And I also have to get a new watch. I have to find one. Maybe go to Tel Aviv. I can do that today. It's a beautiful Saturday. I also hope to see my friends later today. They have this like show called White Orchid. They're saying I should watch, and I need to watch Game Theory. Not that's just a theory. A game theory. No, no, no. I found this one channel, called Game Theory 101, by William Spaniel. I'm hoping to get through and watch. I try to watch this other one with like the Game Theory dating game theory. Uh, yeah. What was it? Hang on, trying to load it. Yeah, predictive history. Um, it was entertaining, but it was more just talking about like, hey, here's a secret game everybody's playing, rather than the basics of what game theory is. And to me, it was kind of toxic, um, because what game theory does in most cases is you'll think of people as players. You'll think about like how to win. You'll think about like, hey, what are people actually motivated by? You know, rather than the ideals we should strive toward. So there is like the ideal or the theory of how society or how people work or how people should be, how people should be motivated, and then there's the reality, and I prefer on working on the principles because as far as like, oh, what's the real agenda, what's people's secret agenda, I want to have hope for people and I want to understand and better learn the world. I don't want to be suspicious or paranoid. That's not what I'm here for. Suspicion and paranoia is not learning. It's a type of fear, and it's not going to help me code. It's not going to help me make any decisions. It'll probably keep me afraid or stop from investing in people or trying to do stuff. All right, so there's that, and then I have to work on a presentation I have to give somebody and talk more about my natural language processing, my natural language processing project. I look forward to that. I have to find an intern. I have to grow and get bigger. Take care of myself and grow. Gotta read Mark 10. I have to do another Duolingo. Did my Duolingo yesterday. Felt good about it. Sorry I missed you guys yesterday. Yeah, everything will be good. Push forward. Try. Be the person you want to be. You can do it. I believe in you, and you shouldn't be thinking or judging yourself based on what other people think. You should judge yourself on what the person you want to be thinks. This ideal self, maybe they're beautiful, maybe they're strong, maybe they're trustworthy, they are the person you want to be. And at times you might disappoint them. At times you'll probably disappoint yourself the way you are now. But you'll get there. You are on a journey and you will reach that destination. And once you reach there, you'll keep on walking. And you'll walk in a new land where you're better and things are better. You're not reaching the top of a mountaintop. You're not trying to reach a peak. Because where's it go from a peak other than down? You're trying to grow your garden, so there's green grass. That's the journey. You're not trying to run away or avoid your problems. You take whatever dead dirt you have and make it living. Through love, through discipline, through hard work, through care. You can be a good person. All right. May your ambitions, faith, and passion guide you, and have a great day.